Just don't know why it's hissing.
Welcome to the Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators. I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve.
And today, sorry, I'm already giggling. We're looking at the Hand of Glory.
Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators.
Yes, my mind is already going to glory holes.
I don't know. I just keep thinking we're going to say it's morning glory. Today's mystery is why every morning?
Yeah, what is the story, Morning Glory?
Yeah. No, it's not about morning, but it's still about calloused hands, so it's not far off it.
Cursed hands.
Cursed,
I've got cursed hands.
Or calloused. Got calluses on the hands.
Especially after reading a copy of Sunday Sport. Do they still make Sunday Sport? Is that
I have no idea. I thought you were going to say, is it still a newspaper? Well, that would have been.
It was never a newspaper, was it? It was the stories that used to be in that paper.
There were stories in that paper. I just remember the pictures in that paper.
Things like I had relations with an alien in the bin around the back of Poundland, and that would be a whole story about. Yeah, it was always that sort of stuff.
This is the British National Enquirer, just with boobs, with lots of boobs.
Maybe we could write our own stories that could go in it.
Yeah, I could lose our. If we don't lose weight soon, we could have our boobs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, just imagine that. It certainly wouldn't be a newspaper. It wouldn't be the bestseller for a start.
No.
Sorry, you were talking about Hands of Glory there.
Yes, and I ended up just sort of going off on a random one because every time I look at that. Yeah, within seconds.
Within seconds.
The problem is my mind just goes to dirty places on this one straight away.
It's usually me that sinks to that level straight away, not you. It's very unlike you. You're usually the reserved one who just thinks it.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking of how to use my Hand of Glory later.
It's funny. Yeah, you'll fall asleep just as quick. You're that one.
Anyway, Hand of Glory. Today's episode is about the Hand of Glory. Now, where I got this idea from is I was looking online and somebody told me that I needed to go on the Whitby Museum website.
No, it wasn't. Tell the truth. The truth was you were looking at Morning Glory, you were looking at glory holes, and then you stumbled across the Hand of Glory. Come on now. This is the truth, though, isn't it? You fell down that rabbit hole and ended up on this. And you thought, can't use the other things, let's use this one.
Yeah, maybe I was after, some Yorkshire accents.
What?
Well, yeah, right. There's something about a Yorkshire accent that's quite appealing, quite attractive. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the farmer
to
in
a Yorkshire woman, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe it's the farmer in me. Maybe it's the not Norfolk farmer in me that the Yorkshire accent. I go, yes.
I just wondered did you have the Norfolk farmer in you? I know it's not your career. So this episode is not going well already. We're
already off track.
It can only get better from here. When I say better, I mean improve. Okay, sorry.
We can get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We will.
But I was told by somebody, and I generally was told, to look at the Whitby Museum website and look at the Hand of Glory. And after the initial looking at the photograph and going, That's cool. That's a mummy's hand. I then found that actually I hadn't been directed there because to look at a cool picture of a mummified hand, it was actually to do with the folklore story of a hand of glory, which is a hand that you can set on fire.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's an interesting one, a very interesting one.
Okay, so basically, you can set any hand on fire, Dan. What's so different about this? I know usually people complain when you try setting their hands on fire, but this is obviously a mummified hand. But
Yes.
what's
And the court case is still due to come out for that one, innocent until proven guilty and all that.
It's friction burns. That's what it was. It was friction burns.
Maybe I should get you as my lawyer for that case.
Oh yeah, you'll be in jail quick as you can. I wouldn't be very good at that, unless they just let you go out of sympathy. If that's
well, I shall tell you.
Yes.
A story that comes from Northumberland.
Mm.
And apparently this has a few different variations of this story, some from Yorkshire, some even from Ireland, some even in Russia or mainland Europe, and some even linked to certain specific pubs. But this particular one comes from Northumberland. One dark night, when all was closed, there came a tap of the door of a lone inn in the middle of a barren moor. The door was opened, and there stood, without shivering and shaking, a beggar, his rags soaked with rain, and his hands white with cold. He asked piteously for a lodging, and it was cheerfully granted to him. There was not a spare bed in the house, but he could lie on the mat before the kitchen fire. So this was settled. Everyone in the house went to bed except for the cook, who from the back kitchen could see into the large room through a pane of glass in the door. She watched the beggar and saw him, as soon as he was left alone, draw himself up from the floor, seat himself at a table, extract from his pocket a brown withered human hand, set it upright in the candlestick. He then anointed the fingers, applied a match to each of them. They began to flame. Filled with horror, the cook rushed back up the stairs and endeavoured to arouse her master and the men of the house. But all was in vain. They slept a charmed sleep. So in despair, she hastened down again and placed herself at her post of observation. She saw the fingers of the hand flaming, but the thumb remained unlighted because one inmate of the house was awake. The beggar was busy collecting the valuables around him into a large sack, and having taken all he cared for in the large room, he entered another. On this, the woman ran, and seizing the light, tried to extinguish the flames. But this was not so easy. She poured the dregs of a beer jug over them, and they blazed up even brighter. As a last resource, she caught up a jug of milk, dashed it over the 4 lampant flames, and they died out at once. Uttering a loud cry, she rushed to the door of the apartment the beggar had entered and locked it. The whole family was aroused, and the thief easily secured and hanged.
Yes. No, it's just I like the way that I expect when we listen to the podcast. I want to hear sound effects on there. I want to hear the creaky doors. You've got to put the atmosphere in that story. That's why I didn't interrupt when you kept calling him a beggar. But I think at that point, when he's pulled out a hand and lit the fingers and you've passed the point, you're not a beggar anymore, are you? When you started throwing everything into your bag, you're not a beggar anymore. But he carried on doing it. There was still the thumb hadn't lit. He knew somebody was awake and still carried on with it. The man was an idiot. Deserved to get hung. Or hanged.
He did.
He did. He deserved it. Just a fool. He should. But I do. Yeah. The hand's a good thing, but why not wait until the thumb's asleep? Why not just go hunt down whoever's awake and then kill him? You're already a thief and a beggar. You might as well be a murderer as well.
Yeah, might as well go ahead and do it as well. I should probably explain that this folklore story of the Hand of Glory is a piece of witchcraft where it is said that the hand can put people to sleep. So the fact that it can put people to sleep by setting it on fire, that's why, with the thumb not being lit, he knew that somebody was awake because the fingers being lit show each individual person in the household that's asleep.
Have you ever seen The Wicker Man?
I have seen The Wicker Man.
With Ewa Woo Woo. with Ewa Woo Woo. Well, they've got, there's a hand of glory in that, I'm sure, because when he wakes up in the morning, there's a human hand with all the fingers lit. When he's on the island with all the witchcraft going on. So,
yeah, so that's well. You said you've been struggling to sleep recently. Maybe you should use a hand of glory. Yeah. That'll put you to sleep.
Yeah, I could really do with a hand of glory at night to help me go to sleep. Anything, I'd try anything at the moment, to be honest. But I don't know. Would the smell of burning flesh wake you up? I mean, I know I'd wake up thinking I was hungry, just like a barbecue. So I was cooking sausages. But these hands are okay. Tell us, right? Okay, you got to tell me how was the hand prepared to be special? Because obviously it's got to be a special hand. It can't just be any hand. For a start, you're not going to light fingers of a normal person. There's got to be something special about this hand. And I'm looking at you while you're looking.
Well, you're looking at me. It was you that found the way of preparing it.
Yeah, I'm just testing you because I want you to say it because it's just the weirdest thing ever.
Yes, well, you have the how to prepare it. Because
I got the recipe.
I can't find the bit that mentions horses. That you mentioned something about horses.
There are a number of recipes I found from different parts of the world.
Because the process that I've got is from 1722, and there's no mention of horses. But you said something about horses.
Yeah, this one's from this is actually from a book from 1823 that's actually in the Whitby Museum. Right, so it has a text published with it. The manuscript says the ways to make a hand of glory is as follows: it must be cut from a body of a criminal on the gibbet. So still hanging there, I guess. Pickled in salt. That's not pickled though, is it? If you're preserving the salt, but you don't pickle in salt.
You can. So it's a type of fermentation. So I guess it depends what they're saying. Yeah. So fermentation of to make sauerkraut, it's just cabbage and salt.
Really?
And
I had sauerkraut tonight.
I make sauerkraut. You just get cabbage, chop bits up, put salt with it. It draws out the water, and then sitting in its own water, it then ferments.
Cool.
That is a type of preservation. So therefore, is a type of pickling.
Well, I know the next ingredients aren't in sauerkraut. Well, I absolutely hope they're not in sauerkraut because the next ingredients are: add the urine of a man, a woman, a dog, a horse, and a mare.
So
that's a lot of urine.
But what gender does the dog have to be? Because if we're getting man and woman, that's male and female. I think it's got to be male, isn't it? Because it wouldn't be. We can't say what it is if it was the female dog, can we? Because we get demonetized. Yes, but horse and a mare.
Bitch. You would say bitch. But don't tell anybody.
I won't.
They can't say that. That's what they call a female dog.
Your secret's safe with me.
Okay. Don't tell anybody who said that. Right. Okay. So, yes.
With it saying horse and mare, a mare is a female horse.
Yeah. What's a male horse called?
A stallion.
Oh, no. That's only ones who can get it up. The other ones, the lazy ones, are just called horses. That's what they call you.
Call me in bed.
In Bedford. Okay. Then the hand must be smoked with herbs and hay for a month, then hung on an oak tree for 3 nights running, then laid at a crossroads, then hung on a church door for 1 night while the maker keeps watch in the porch. And if it be that no fear hath driven you forth from the porch, then the hands be true one, and it be yours. There we go. That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work.
It's also calling back to when we did the Toadman episode. That was an awful lot of work to just get the ointment to control horses. That's equally as much effort.
Yeah. But I found another recipe as well. This one's from 1722. I'm not sure if this is a French one.
That is the one that I found by Emile Jules Gilroy.
That's it, yeah. Do you want to do that one? Because that has ingredients that don't even exist.
Take the right or left hand of a felon. Now, it is said, I have seen elsewhere that the right or left hand, it's determined based on the non-dominant hand. So if the criminal was right-handed, you take the left hand. If they're left-handed, you take the right hand.
Is that because it's less calloused?
Possibly.
Yes.
But this particular one just says take the right or left hand of a felon. It doesn't specify why you would take, why one or the other or whatever. But I have read that. Who is hanging from the gibbet beside a highway. So specifically only a gibbet next to a highway. Wrap it in part of a funeral pall. Wrap it in part of a funeral pall, and so wrapped squeeze it well. Then put it in an earthenware vessel with zimmet, nitra, salt, and long peppers. The whole well powdered.
Leave it in. What is zimmet?
I have no idea. And
nobody does. It doesn't exist. It's made up for this. Maybe it's just a French thing.
Well, I've just Googled zimmet. And zimmet in modern terminology is a medicine that treats hay fever. And that's in modern terminology.
Okay.
However, the other thing that comes up with searching for zimmet are people referring to how to make a hand of glory.
Is it still like a Reddit thread? How do I make a hand of glory?
Funny enough, it is a Reddit thread. The thread of it's in Ask Historians. Somebody tried to make a hand of glory and asking if anyone knows what a zimmet is. Yeah,
I've already got the hand. I just need to know where the zimmet is. That's it. Just tell him just the horse urine. Just take the piss way. That's the best way. Much easier.
Much easier than trying to find something that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Sorry.
At least we know what nitra is, because nitra is potassium nitrate. So at least we know that nitra exists. We can get everything but the zimmet.
I was just stuck on zimmet there.
You leave it in the vessel for a fortnight, then take it out and expose it to full sunlight during the dog days. That's a song, isn't it? The Florence and the Machine. Dog days are over. Yeah. Dog days. Yeah.
They would have had to wait a few hundred years then, wouldn't they, for that to be coming out?
Yeah. Well, it's the hot days in the summertime, aren't they?
Oh, I thought you meant they had to actually wait till that song was released.
Yeah, until Florence Welsh is a thing. But put it in full sunlight during the dog days until it becomes dry. If the sun is not strong enough, put it damp,
just dry.
Just
dry. Don't want a damp hand.
If the sun
would have dried it out, surely.
Yeah, I like the fact that it then says if the sun is not strong enough, put it in an oven. So either put it out in the middle of summer or just chuck it in an oven.
Or just wait until you got an air fryer. That's the Reddit way.
With fern and vervain, which vervain is a type of plant. Next, make a kind of candle from the fat of the gibbeted felon, virgin wax, sesame, and pony.
Peony?
It could be a misspelling of peony. Because it can't be pony as in a horse, because that's a Y, and this is an IE. So surely it's a misspelling of peony.
No, that's the correct spelling of but I just don't know why they've got it in brackets. Is yours in brackets?
No, mine just says pony or pony, however you want to spell it. So Ponie.
Do you know what? It must be the flower. It's got to be a scented candle. This is where Yankee candles come from. This is the first scented candle.
And then you use the hand of glory as a candlestick to hold the candle. So in this version, the hand itself is not a candle, it's holding the candle. And then those in every place into which you go with this baneful instrument shall remain motionless.
Can you just show again? Sorry, I just want to see the hand, how you would hold a candle. How would you... You just got a hand like that.
Yeah.
Sure, that's all.
That is how I would hold a candle.
No wonder they call it the hand of glory.
Yeah, that is how I would hold a candle in my hand like that. Yeah, in a fist. I wouldn't hold it like the pictures describe, with my hand open, with bits on each of my fingers. I wouldn't do that. I'd hold it physically in a closed fist.
Or a semi-closed fist, a loosely closed fist. A very loosely closed hand of glory.
Near a hole of glory.
Yeah, you got your glory hole finally.
However, in this recipe that we're looking at with de Givry,
we're not going to use this episode, are we?
We are. With that recipe, de Givry also points out difficulties in the meaning of his words Zimmet and pony, saying it is like pony, saying that pony actually means horse dung.
There is a common thing there, isn't there? Basically, horse waste. Both recipes.
Did you
number one and number two?
So he uses so the phrase, according to John Livingston Lowes, means that it says that it is horse dung, and that in local Lower Normandy dialect, that's what the meaning is. Because horse dung is very combustible when dry.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was going to say, wonder why people don't use the horse dung then to light fires in a house, but then I realized, of course, that's why they don't. It smells like horse dung.
Yes.
If you've got a fireplace, why use wood? Just use the horse dung. It's better for the environment, but the smell.
I have discovered here that Francis Gross, made a translation of the text, and he called it Sisam of Lapland, or Lapland Sesame. And within there, he suggests that Zimmet is verdigris, or verdigris, which is copper salts of acetic acid, which suggests that Zimmet is actually a thing. So it's copper and salts of copper, which is the Arabian sulfate of iron in some texts. But all that would really do is just simply give a colour, surely. It'd burn with a different colour. It wouldn't necessarily do anything special.
Well, it would be quite cool. I mean, if you're going to light a hand when you break into a house, you want to make it look spooky.
Yeah, and a blue-green flame would be
blue-green flame would be great. Yeah. Now, I want to know, has anybody used a hand of glory in the last 300 years? Maybe 200 years?
Oh, good question. I don't know, because it has been mentioned. Well, I could tell you something where a hand of glory has been used in the last 300 years. In a film that came out, and we're both going to feel incredibly old in a moment, aren't we?
Dan, I am incredibly old.
Because...
What film is it gone?
Well, the book came out in 1998, and the film that I'm about to reference came out in 2002.
Yeah.
So that was over 20 years ago. And I'm referencing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, there is a hand of glory in Borgin and Burke's, which is a shop in Knockturn Alley. Draco Malfoy is there with his father, Lucius, and he sees the hand of glory and asks if he could buy it. Borgin then explains what its powers are and says that it's to do with thieves and plunderers. And Draco's father's Lucius scorns the idea of his son needing such a thing. However, Harry sees it in the film, and it's lying on a cushion in Borgin and Burke's. Harry touches the hand, and the hand grabs hold of him viciously until he manages to pry it off again. However, I was reading that in the console version of Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, which I don't know if you've played the PS1 version, seen the hilarious faces of the polygons. Hagrid to this day is still burned in my mind of just how bad Hagrid looks. But the hand itself releases a shockwave whenever there's movement nearby. And in the Lego Harry Potters, it actually pulls Harry's hand off and throws it out in front of Hagrid. Yeah, so it appears in some video games as well. All Harry Potter.
Of course, that's kind of the other link to Harry Potter, isn't it? Because some people think that the Hand of Glory was actually Mandrake root originally.
Yes.
We've said before about how Mandrake root sometimes looks like people, it looks like hands. I found a picture. Again, we'll put these pictures on the website with when we release this. But there is Mandrake root, which looks like a dried shriveled hand. But also, I'm thinking, right, bodies of thieves were left hanging back in the day, obviously, as a warning to thieves. When they would be executed, they were hung or hanged. I'm wondering if these people started this rumor up and took the hands trying to stop thieves being hung in the street, because they were starting to have this story that they were using the hands to break into houses. So if you're trying to leave dead bodies hanging there to scare people away, then they say, oh no, we're actually using that now to actually break into people's houses. Then it's like, oh, well, maybe we won't leave them hanging anymore. Because it's funny, because it's the hand of thieves is what usually the hand of thieves that had been hanged. They would take those hands and say, we're using them to break into people's houses. I just want this. I like the idea again. I like the idea that they've said these are criminals. We're going to use it for a criminal act.
Yes.
And I saw the other magical powers the Hand of Glory has. It isn't just putting people to sleep. It would and keep them asleep. It would also give light to the holder, casting all others into darkness. So basically, the holder would become almost invisible.
Okay.
It would unlock any door in the vicinity where it was lit, so any door would just automatically unlock. And apparently it was thought that the Hand of Glory could burn forever without perishing, so you'd probably have to throw milk on it, like you said, to put it out, but you could carry on lighting it forever and it would never run out of flame. But I like that. So basically, yes, it could also unlock doors and make the holder invisible, which obviously didn't work to the beggar at the beginning because he got caught.
Maybe his Hand of Glory was prepared in a different way.
Yeah, maybe he used bitch urine rather than dog urine.
Well, I've just found here, and obviously, we've had an episode out where we had a poem in the middle of it.
Got another poem.
And of course, that was, from our now favourite poet, William McGonagall. However, this is not William McGonagall. This is Thomas Ingoldsby, who was actually a cleric of the Church of England, as well as being a novelist and a poet. His real name was Richard Harris Barham. Barham? I don't know. Many of those. It's one of those mispronounced. What I'm going to do, after all the hate that I've received online from the people of New Zealand saying that I pronunciated.
It was one person, Dan. It was one person. We're
After
not lucky enough to have everybody in New Zealand listening to us.
Yeah. Saying that I mispronunciated Tanifar, I'm deliberately going to say this name that has no pronunciation guide next to it as Baham, and say every single type of way that I could say. So, it's like, well, just choose one. But anyway, he there's a book called The Inglesby Legends, which he released in 1893. The full title is The Inglesby Legends of Mirth and Marvels, and it's a collection of myths, legends, ghost stories, and poems written by Thomas Inglesby of Tappington Manor, which is the pen name of Richard Harris Barham. And and within that text, he has quite a lot of different chapters of different stories. And one of them is where he shares a poem that he has written of the dead man's hand. Open lock to the dead man's knock, fly bolt and bar and band, nor move nor swerve, joint, muscle or nerve, at the spell of the dead man's hand. Sleep all who sleep, wake all who wake, but be as the dead for the dead man's sake. Now lock nor bolt nor bar avails, nor stout oak panel thick studded with nails. Heavy and harsh the hinges creak, though they had been oiled in the course of the week. The door opens wide as wide may be, and there they stand, that murderous band, lit by the light of the glorious hand, by one, by two, by three.
Wasn't as funny as McGonagall's.
It wasn't as funny as McGonagall's, but but within that, he does mention the fact that it puts people to sleep, and basically being frozen like they're dead. And then, like you said with the other panels, it has made them the ultimate thieves because they can now creep in. It's turned everything. It's got rid of all the bars magically by just that dead man's hand being lit.
Yeah. Opens doors, bolts slip aside, no key is needed. Water cannot extinguish the flames. Milk, holy water, and blood fail. Oh, so only in its own ritual extinguishing phase will quench it. So this one says milk won't even quench it.
Oh, wow.
And some claim the flames can also reveal ghosts, hidden spirits, and footprints of the recently deceased.
Okay.
Passing a hand to another transfers its burden. The person it's transferred to will suffer depression, nightmares, and hallucinations. Well, it's pretty all that urine. Or the Zimmet. That's never know.
We see that's quite interesting, you saying about it being passed on and other people have to deal with the consequences, because that's a bit like a monkey's paw, isn't it?
Yes, very similar to that.
Where a monkey's paw is obviously a mummified monkey's hand, but when you pass that on to someone else, whatever the wish that you have is, there's always some sort of negative effect.
It's like the genie's curse. Always get a wrong one. You know what you said about the milk, and I said milk doesn't put the fire out, but apparently the milk of a black cow can.
So back to
maybe
cows.
That milk was a black cow. Maybe it's a black cow's milk.
We've got many different weird sort of links here, haven't we, to previous episodes? Like we've got magical cow's milk, where we've talked about magical cows.
Yep.
I don't think I've still yet to recover from that episode. We've got the link to the Boggart episode, in that we're back to talking about something in Harry Potter. Links to the Mandrake episode, because mandrakes were sometimes done, and this is a thing mixed in with humans. Yeah, and then all of the witchcraft links in nicely with Toadman. So basically, this episode, go back and listen to loads of our old episodes to, you know, get different links.
Yeah, there's definitely. It's a very interesting one, but I'm assuming. I mean, obviously, we're coming to the end of the show now. We must be coming to the end of the show because there can't be much more to say about this. But it obviously doesn't work.
No,
it either doesn't work because everybody would still be using, but nobody. Maybe that's why we don't have it anymore, because we don't hang people by the side of the roads anymore.
Maybe that's why we stopped hanging.
Yeah, and public hangings and leaving the bodies out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they did what I was saying. They realized it's the thieves are using their hands to break into houses, so let's just stop hanging people.
Well, I will say, linked in with this Hand of Glory, like we said, it's across Europe.
Yes.
So England
and
France,
it spreads really far. Like say, all into Scandinavia as well.
Yeah, well, England and France are very much similar. But then when you look into it, you've got Netherlands have a foot, a hand, and a finger. Germany have thumbs. Germany actually have a spell and a counter spell to it. Switzerland have the hands of the unbaptized children, and Poland have the finger of sin. So there's lots of links of.
Sorry, we're back to the finger of sin. It's just as we're back to where we started from.
Yeah. Would you like to know about the finger of sin? Finger, mate.
Don't bring that finger. Do you want to snip my finger of sin? There you go. Snip a finger of sin. Go on.
We're back to that ET toy that was released. That is a bit of a meme online. Just that ET finger.
Oh, sorry. Tell us about the finger of sin then, Dan. Before we go on. I searched for it with safe search on.
A merchant had a finger of sin, which was the finger from an executed person, hidden in a container used to dispense alcohol. Because of this, customers streamed to him in great numbers, and his business thrived. While cleaning the cask, a servant noticed the chalk white and bleached out finger and reported his muss to the authorities. The latter was severely punished and the finger was confiscated from him. After having completed his prison sentence, the merchant attempted to re-establish his business, but luck was not with him. Customers stayed away and he had to make his living through begging. So for some reason, it doesn't say why he had the finger from an executed person, other than it clearly had some form of magic spell that made people come back again.
We could edit that sentence a bit shorter and it would.
The hands of the unbaptized children. So the body of a deceased unbaptized child should be buried at night so that no one will know where the grave is. The hands of such children can open any lock. Furthermore, a thief who possesses the hand from such a corpse can tell whether anyone is awake in a house that he intends to rob. He only has to light the fingers. If they all burn, then everyone in the house is asleep and will not awaken as long as the fingers are burning. The number of fingers not burning shows how many of the house's inhabitants are awake. So Switzerland, instead of being an executed villain, a criminal, it's an unbaptized child.
Those poor unbaptized children, they get such a bad rep in those days.
Well, in Germany, thieves cut off the thumb of an unborn child and light it as a can. Yeah. Well, I'm guessing
that's quite an operation.
Well, I'm assuming that it's going to be, an abortion or I'm guessing. But thieves cut off the thumb of an unborn child and light it as a candle. As long as it is burning, everyone in the house will stay asleep. And then in the Netherlands, Yeah. It's thief's foot, hand, and finger. In West Flanders, a thief was taken on whom was found the foot of one that had been hanged, which he used for the purpose of putting people to sleep. Two fellows once came who pretended to be exceedingly fatigued. When they had supped, would not retire to a sleeping room, but begged their host would allow them to take a nap on the hearth. Well, this is exactly the same story. However, they do have a hand and set the fingers alight. Yeah, so in the Netherlands, they've got a thief that was arrested. He had a foot that had belonged to somebody that had been hanged, which he had used for the purpose of putting people to sleep. They've got the story that we started with, but this time with two people going into an inn with a hand, where they then try and steal, but the maid stops them essentially. And then they've also got a sorceress who had a thief's finger over which 9 masses had been read for being acquainted with sacristan. I'm not sure what that word is. Sacristan, a church official responsible for the care of the sacristy, the room where the sacred vessels are kept. Okay. She had wrapped it in a cloth and laid it on the altar, telling him it was a relic. With his finger, she performed wonderful things. Just gonna let that one sit for a while. When she had lit it, for such fingers burn like a candle, everyone in the house where she might be was put to sleep. She would then steal the money and everything else that she fancied until she was at last detected and the stolen property found in her possession. So the Netherlands, they're not just stopping at a thief's hand, they've got a foot and a finger.
I wonder if anybody noticed all these bodies just getting smaller. Do they think like wild animals were just like eating them or something? It's like every day there'd be another piece missing. Somebody's taking the hands. What bits can I take now? This one's got no hands, no feet. What else can I chop off? What else is there I could chop off and use as a candle? It's like, no, that's just, we don't want to do that now.
We don't want to go there. We don't want to go there.
I'm going to search it anyway, no matter what. No,
because that will remind me of a really horrible video someone once made me watch.
Don't. I'm not even going to ask why you.
No, I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't.
All I'm going to say.
But it is again amazing because just quick browse on what parts of the body can be used for magic. Everything can. If we're talking, we obviously witch doctors in Africa will just use every part of an albino, or even bald. I understand bald men as well. That recently been used in magic because they think there's gold in their heads. So they've been cracking open the skull of bald men, waiting for the magic to show the gold in their skulls. And of course, there isn't any, so they keep trying. Witch doctors, magic.
Next time I see my dad, I'm going to crack his head open and see if I can get the gold.
There isn't any. That's the point. But they keep trying because they think it's unlucky. They'll be the next one. Just because somebody said it's crazy that I don't know. It just does. At least those ones we were talking about came from already dead bodies.
Yes, yeah.
At least only desecrating a dead body rather than a living body, which, there's still so much that goes on around the world where people think the body can hold magic. None as cool as this. I mean, usually it's about fame and fortune, but this is pretty cool. Sending people to sleep, unlocking doors, making yourselves invisible. It's cool. It's cool, but rubbish. Quite frankly,
yeah.
But it's fascinating how there's so much documentation from so many eras over so many countries. This is back when things didn't really travel, I guess, between countries as much as they do now. And there's still so many stories from around the world basically the same thing.
Yeah, and I do wonder though, because like with the Netherlands and the story of the hand from the Netherlands, it's very similar to the several French and English stories, where it's a traveller or travellers arriving at an inn and going, there's no room at the end, or they don't take the room, they stay up, and then they suddenly get a hand out and set it on fire. So I do wonder, was there, and I can't seem to find this in the research that we've been doing behind the scenes, whether there has been a story somewhere that was spread across all of these European countries and a common thread. I know we've had we've had episodes in the past where we've been able to trace back a folklore story to its origins of being hundreds of years prior to that, and then it has links everywhere else with other stories.
Yeah, there has to be a link. Sorry, why are you laughing, Dan? What's making you chuckle there, Dan?
Somebody has just sent me a link on the chat that we have open here to an Amazon link. A middle finger candle, which is a hand of glory. It's a candle in the shape of somebody put their middle finger up, and it's got a wick inside.
Going to have to get one.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got very off rail here, haven't we?
Hand
of glory.
Hand of glory.
As you said, it's utter.
Yeah. But then who knows? Because, like I say, we don't have those bodies hanging around like they used to.
Yeah. So
there may be something in it. Personally, I'm not for chopping off organs from any kind of body myself. I'm not into that kind of thing. I'm a bit weak. Not a bit big, sorry, a bit normal. Something like that.
Well, I was just thinking, not far from me is Caxton Gibbet, which is still an original gibbet outside of McDonald's, which is convenient, and it's right next to a highway. So all we need to do is, if we go to the prison, find a criminal, take them to Caxton Gibbet, let's hang them, and then while we wait for them to do it, we can nip in McDonald's, get a burger or something, and then when we see that the body stops twitching, we can go out, chop the hand off, we follow this sort of witchcraft, and then let's just go to a random house and see if it works.
Okay, that's definitely a recipe for success. It would make a great video. Could be our last.
Yeah, it's fine. I see no problem with this. There's definitely no laws against all of this.
There's definitely no downside to this at all, is there?
There's no downside to this. We can find a criminal that's doing life.
Why not we go to Whitby, to a museum, and take the hand of glory that's there, light it up, and see what happens?
Because I did read on their website that they actually think it's made of wood and they think it's a replica.
Does anyone want me to find out?
That is the hand of glory.
The hand of glory. The morning glory, the glory hole, the glory.
What's the story? Morning glory.
The hand, yeah. It's
hands. Yeah.
Gripping. What a gripping tale this was.
Yeah. And you can take your hand of glory and swipe onto your favorite social media apps and give us a follow. Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators, or Boo-Foons. Or you can take your thief's finger and go to Patreon and sign up, and it's thief because we will take your money. Please sign up to our Patreon. And if you've enjoyed listening this week, obviously go to
Podchaser and give us a review on Podchaser.
Yes, give us a review on Podchaser as well.
There's a link on our website.
Yes, and go to our website, and Steve is going to put pictures of Hands of Glory on there.
Yes, I will make sure they're all censored. Carefully chosen, carefully curated. Yeah. Don't worry, Dan. I'll leave yours out.
And we will.
Thank you.
And we will be here next week.
For another
yes.
thrilling adventure.
Yes.
Another failed investigation from the Boo-Foons. Right, I'm going to say goodbye because Dan's chuckling away.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.